So now we will many to many, right? So many to many we have to see. So okay, let me. All right then. So let us take review, radar, right, and book, right. So now what I'll do, save book readers. So this is one to many, one to one, many to one. So now what I'll do is, I'll say no, many to many. So I'll say save book readers, right? This is many to many. That means many books, many readers, right? Now take this thing. Now book reader also be out there. Reader also be out there. And then, so what I'll do is, do we have readers in the database? 1 minute. So what I'll do, select star from radar. Tables, okay. And right. See, what I'll do is, first I'll add some readers, okay, from radar side. So first what I'll do is, first I'll say, first add some readers. Add some readers to database. Right. So what I'll say, radar R1 is equal to new radar R1 dot. Okay, set radar ID. I'll say some R1 dot. Set first name. I'll give something like Rajesh. Okay, this is set radar ID. I'll give something like 30. R1 dot set Rajesh Kumar. I'll say R1 dot set email Rajesh @ some test.com. I'll give like this. See, why I'm doing is because there are no data in my reader. First, I'll add the reader's name data. That's why I'm doing this one. Now what I'll do, right? So what I'll do now, session dot get current session. Session dot get a transaction dot begin. Right? So what I'll do now, session dot save of R1. Now I'll give one more reader. Reader ID of 40. Pradeep Agarwal. That's it. Okay. Pradeep @ test.com. Then I'll say session dot save of again R1. Then I'll say session dot get a transaction dot commit. Right? So this is save readers actually. So let me run this first actually. First I'll add some readers, okay? Run as Java application. Why? Incorrect integer value Kumar for column last name at row 1. Integer value. Right. Oh, last name is integer. It should be varchar, right? Why integer we have put? First name is varchar, last name varchar, right? I'll again create. One minute. So create table. I'll create both again. Drop table. Next, drop table. Reader. Now what I'll do, I'll just create this table reader. Varchar of 20. Next again, I'll create this. Right. So now let me now run the program. Yeah. So now I'll say select star from radar. Yeah. So this data got inserted. Okay. So Rajesh Kumar, Rajesh Adar, Pradeep Agarwal, this one. Okay. So now I have saved the data, so I don't need now here. Let me uncomment this. Now I'll call for save book rate. Now what I'll do is I will actually, okay, what I'll do is I will just get the, so basically we can do like this. See, ideally, if you don't want this method, if you don't want to have in separate method, you can actually do in this method also. In save book creators also you method. Okay. If you don't want separate method, okay, what I'll do is I'll just copy this. Here itself in save book reviews only I can have. Sorry, here. Save book creators only I can have. Right? I can remove this if needed. I can have in the save book readers. What I'm doing, I'm creating reader. Let me delete this. Delete from reader. Right. So I can do here itself. I can do here save book readers. Now what I'll do is I created readers. Okay. I created readers. Now I'll associate this reader ID. What I'll do is how many books are there? Let me do that. Select star from books. So these two books are read by these two readers. Okay, let us think like that. Okay. So Rajesh has read this book. He has read, Rajesh also has read this book. Similarly, Pradeep also read this book. Pradeep also read this book. So two users are reading two books. So what I'll do is now, see, I have to associate these books with readers, right? What I'll do is you see here. I'll get book from book. Okay, book ID 1 and 2 from database. So what I'll do, book B1 or is equal to session dot get of book dot class. And I'll say 1. Right? So based on this one. Now, what I'll do is now, I'll say book B2, session.book.class of 2. Okay, now what I'll do is you see here. I'll remove the session.save here. I'll say raider R1, raider R2, I'll say. R2, 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 2 raiders, 2 books. Now, what I'll do, you see. Now, raider 1, okay, raider 1 dot get books. Raider 1 doesn't have books. Okay. I think I'll just generate source getters and setters. Right. Similar. Okay. So what I'll do now, you see here, R1 dot get books dot add of book 1. You see. So that means this reader, Rajesh, is reading this book. Similarly, I will also say R1 dot get books dot add of B2. Similarly, R2 dot get books dot add of B1. That's all. See, I'll do for now. This reader Rajesh has read 2 books, but reader 2 has read only 1 book. Okay, if you see like this, reader R1 has read 2 books, B1 and B2. And reader 2 has read only book B1. Okay. Now what I'll do now, you see, I'll just say session.save of R1, comma, session.save of R2. That's all. That's all. So let me run this program. Okay, R1 dot get books. Okay, what I'll do is here for simplicity, here I'll say I'll create an object array list here only. New array list. Here it's okay. So let me run this program. Yeah, it got saved. So now let me now see this book reader table. Select star from book underscore reader. Now you see, book ID 1 is read by reader ID 30. Reader R1 has read 2 books. Who is your reader R1? Reader R1 is 30. If I take select star from reader, so reader R1, this 30 has read this book and this book. Reader 40 has read only 1 book. That's what we see. Reader R1 has read 2 books. Reader R2 has read only 1 book. See, that relation has been established. And in the reader table, that is 30, 40. Now I'll say select star from book. Now we can see, now this is a relation now, see. If you see here from this table, what we can conclude, book ID B1. What is your book ID B1? Programming in Java. This is read by reader ID 30. Who is reader ID 30? Rajesh. Next, book ID B2 has read by 30 reader. Okay, Rajesh has read book ID 2. That is Spring and Hibernate. Next, book ID 1 has been read by reader ID 40. If you see, this is a many to many association. Many books are read by many readers. And these two are called composite key. That means this combination should be unique. See, if 130 is coming means 130 should not come in any row. 230 comes means 230 should not come in any row. 140 comes means 140 should not come in any row. So this is how this will take place. So if I do like this, so I'm creating now a reader object. So these two, this is reader 2 object. This one, this is another object. Now what I do, session.book.class of 1. Now I'm loading a book now. This is a book with book ID 1. Book ID 1. Now I'm loading another book. This is already there in your database. Okay, I'm reading it. This is book ID 2. Right? Now what I'm doing now? Reader dot get books. So where is your reader? This one. So radar. So this one. Now you see. Now the join table is your book reader table. Now, so when I say r1.getBooks, r1.getBooks will return a array list. I'm adding in the array list. Add method is part of your array list. So r1.getBooks will return an array list. So now this radar, now I'm creating a radar object r1, and that r1 is associated with list of two books actually. List of two books. R1 means radar 1. Radar 1 is associated with two books, right? So one is B1 and another is B2. One is B1 and another is B2. This is array list. Right? Now what I'll do now? Okay, again r2.getBooks.add of B1. So now again R2 will come. Radar. R2 means radar 2. So what is your radar 1? ID is 30 here. ID is 30. Radar ID is 30, right? 30 only, right? See? ID is 30. And what is your radar 2? ID is 40. ID is 40. Now, R2 is associated with get books again in array list. Okay, add of B1. So, add of B1. Only one element. So, this is also an array list. But I have only one element. Now, when I say session.save of R1, session.save of R2, now what will happen now? This will save. These two records will be saved in the radar table. Like your radar ID, first name and all that. This is your radar table. And also, this will also save the records in join table also, which is your book reader table. So now in book reader table, now what I'll have now? Book ID, reader ID. Book ID, reader ID. Okay. This is your composite primary key. Right. Now, if you see here, for this book ID B1, two readers are there. For this book ID B1, how many readers are there? Reader 1 and reader 2. So book ID 1, reader 1 is what? 30. And how it is going to add? Because here we specify the join table, right? So it will go to this table and update the records, add the records. So 1 to 30. And again, next is 1 to 40 also. One to 40. And then book ID 2 will be read by only reader ID 40. Right. So that is what we got here. 130, 230, 140. Two is what? 30, yeah? Radar to it is 30. Right. Any doubts in this till now? Many to many? Any questions? Everyone clear with this today's? So many to many is maintained by a separate table. Okay. Yeah, just 1 minute. Hope everyone is clear with this. Everyone clear? I'm getting only responses from Tarun Kumar. What about others? Everyone clear? Tarun Kumar is the one who gives everyday regular responses. Others also give, but today others are not silent. Yeah, Siddharth, okay. Devasish, Anuradha, Ravi Kumar. But some people are joining like Redmi, OnePlus, I think mobile IDs. I think better to join with your names so that I can recognize your names. Devasish, Archana. Yeah. Sakibul Basha. Yeah. Good. Basant. Okay. Sakibul Basant. Sorry. I did not see the complete name. Sakibul Basant. Okay. Right. So, yeah. Right. So, good that. Now, hope you have gone through this PPT yesterday or day before yesterday, what I told. Okay, just go through this PPT. This will be very useful, right? Now we'll see the last one, which is bidirectional association. See, till now we have seen one-to-one unidirectional, many-to-one unidirectional, but we haven't seen the bidirectional. That means, say for example, whatever we have seen author details. author details. This is your one-to-one association. One-to-one, and this is a unidirectional, whatever we have seen. That means if I know author, I will go to author details. But now we can see bidirectional. That means if I know author details, I can go into author also. In one-to-one, what we say? In one-to-one unidirectional, if I know author, I will get author details also. In bidirectional, if I know author details, I can go to author. See, in unidirectional, if you see, in my author, I already have one-to-one. In unidirectional, in my class author, I have one-to-one. Now, in bidirectional, in unidirectional, I have only in class author this. That means class author has this thing. Now in bidirectional, in bidirectional, I will have class author details also. I mean, in class author details also, I will have author property. See, in unidirectional, you don't have in author details, author property. Only if I know author, here I'll say author. In bidirectional, I can go from author details to author. That means I can go from this author details to author. But in unidirectional, I can go only from author details, author to author details. But in bidirectional, I can go in this direction. I can go in this direction. That means in this direction, reverse also. That's why in bidirectional, we'll have for this author details, author property. But in unidirectional, you will not have author property for this author details. Now, when you put author details for this property, that's why if you see here, in unidirectional, you see here, in unidirectional association between author and author details, you have author, one-to-one, join column, and this points to the foreign key of author table. Fine. And this author contains author details. In unidirectional, from author to author details, author class only contains author details, but author details doesn't contain author. That's why I see author details doesn't contain author, because unidirectional means it is from author to author details. That means in author class, I should have this author details property, which is a has a association. Now in bidirectional one, if you see, I will have in the author class author details property, and in author details property also, I will have author property. You see here, there is no author property here. See my mouse cursor where it is moving. Okay, here there is no author property here. But in author details, I have an author property. That is in bidirectional. Now, but we have to say, now author details is one-to-one. There is one attribute called mapped by. This is applicable only in the bidirectional, which tells inverse side of relationship. That means a bidirectional relationship. So this mapped by, whatever I give this author details, this name should point to this variable name here. Remember, So whatever I give mapped by equal to author, it is this name. So then only we can establish a bidirectional, that is inverse relationship. So this name should match with this property. So that is what mapped by comes. So mapped by tells your bidirectional relationship. Okay. Now, similarly, you see here. Similarly, in many to one also, unidirectional we have seen. In meditation unidirection, what is there? Many books will be one author. And for author, there is no book actually, because we are going only from book to author in one direction. So we'll go only from book to author in one direction. Okay. But in many to one bidirectional, if you see, okay, in many to one bidirectional, now in author we'll have books also. In author, now this will be, see, bidirectional of many to one, inverse of many to one is one. Many to one bidirectional means the reverse is one to many only, right? Okay, so for example, if you see here, now I have book, many books, one author. Many books to one author. Now I'm having an association now. Many books to one author. Right? Now this is unidirectional. Now when I reverse it, that means the inverse side, the bidirectional, one author, many books, right? One author is mapped to many to one. When you reverse, it will be one. But here, one to one, if you reverse also, it will be one to one only. So in the unidirectional, it is one to one. And in the reverse also, it is one to one only. But here, many books to one author, if I reverse it, it will be one author to many books. So that's why if you see here, in the bidirectional, if you see, it is like this now. Okay. Now if you see here, from author, I have to go to books. So from author has a property books, but now it is one to many. It is one to many, not many to one, it is one to many. So one author, many books. Now here I have put mapped by. What is your mapped by tells? Your mapped by tells equal to author, and this points to this one. This mapped by this, whatever this variable, this points to this one. Remember, in one to one, if you see, in one to one, the unidirection is one to one, the reverse also is one to one, and this mapped by this points to this one. Okay. Shall we see now? So shall we see the bidirectional? What I'll do is here, in my author details, I'll add author also. What I'll say, private author, and here I'll say one to one, right? One to one. So it will be mapped by. mapped by is equal to, so what we have to say in one-to-one, mapped by equal to author details. That means this property. In author, this property I have to give. Right? So I'll generate setters and getters. Okay. Right. So I'm generating now for author details. I've added author. Oh, fine. That's all. Now similarly for this one also, many to one. So author will be having many books. So author here I'll say private list books. Now here I'll say one to many. Right? One author, many books. And here I'll say mapped by. So it has to point to in the book class author, this one. This is one author, right? Right? Now I'll just say source generate setters and getters. So you just follow this diagram. You just follow this diagram. I have put clearly where this is pointing, where this is pointing in all the things. Right? So what I'll do is now, let me do one small experiment. Now, if I know author details ID, now I have to reverse in this direction. Now, if I know this, I can go to author. Now, if I know author, I can go to book. Okay, let me do the reverse. If we know author details ID, then I can get author details. Then we can get author details. Now let me take like this int. Okay, let me do like this int author details ID is equal to, or let me do like this. I'll write a method here. Get author from author details. And I'll pass select star from author details. So author details 1. I know 1 here. This I'll get author. Now what I'll do, I'll write a static method. Author. Get author from author details of int author details ID. Now what I'll do now. Okay. Now let me get author details first. Now let me write the session factory. Then I'll say session dot get of author details ID. Okay, session dot get of author details class. And I'll say 1. Now I know author detail. I'll say I'll pass this author details. Sorry. Now I know author details. Now can I get author now? Yes, I can get author details dot author details dot get of author. What is it? What are the columns present in author? See, I know author details ID. Now I'm going the reverse direction. Now I want to get these details. So first name, last name, get author, get first name. Right? I'll just put system dot, or I'll get author. Okay. Let me go like this. Now system dot out dot println author first name and last name. See, I'm going in the by the reverse side now. I know author details ID. I'm getting authors now. Author first name and last name. Author dot get first name. Author dot get last name. Or here I'll get. Here I'll write print it. And here I'll say return author. Return author. And here I'll say A dot. That's all. Now let me run this program. I'm passing author details ID. I'm passing this ID. From this, I have to get these details. Reverse now. From author details, I have to get author. Earlier from author, we can go to author details. But now from author details, we are going to author. See, now that's why in the author details, I added this author. So that author details dot get author, I'll get author object. Let me run this. Okay, session dot. Okay, I did not add it. This session dot transaction dot begin. Transaction dot commit. Okay. Let me run this. See, now I got author first name and last name. Okay. So author first name and last name I got. Right. I know author details ID. From author details ID, I'm getting author. Now, similarly, can we see for this also? Let me know. This one. Now I know review. Sorry. Yeah. This one. I know books. Book. I know author. From author, can I get book ID? Reverse. Earlier, from book to author, we are going. Now, from author to book, I'll go. That is bidirectional. So let me say get book from author. Let me do like this. Get the book from author. And I'll give author ID as one. Okay, get book from author is, or get books, I'll say, not books. Now I'll say list book books. Right? Now let me write this private list of book. Get books from author. I'll give author ID. Right? Now, first I have to get author object, right? First I have to get author object. By this author ID, I have to get author object. So I'll say author equal to session dot get of, okay, author dot plus, and say author ID. Right? So once I get author, I'll get book details. How I'll get? Return author dot get books. So that is the reason in the reverse direction in author class, from author I have to get books. So author dot get books. Now here what I'll do now, here I'll say for book. From author ID I'm getting books. System dot because one author can have many books, right? That's why I'm putting a for loop. It is an array list. Book dot get ID. Book dot get title. Right? That's all. So let me run this program. See here also, I'll say get books from author. Okay, I'll just say session dot transaction. Update. Get books from author. I got author. Your author ID is what? 1, right? Okay, your author ID is 1. No. Author ID is 100. Sorry. There is no author ID with 1. Author ID is 100. Here I'll pass 100. So run as okay. So here in author, see basically it is like this. In author, if you see here, 1 too many books. 1 too many books, right? And in book, if you see, many to 1. Many to 1, right? So here what we are doing is, let me, instead of author dot get books, here I'll say like, see, because I closed the transaction, after transaction, I'm getting the books. It should not be like this. I should get here only. The stuff before transaction only, before the session close only, I should get this. Author dot get books. Then I'll return these books. See, author dot get books before the session close only, commit or close session, I should get this and then I should return the books. So let me run this. So initialize a collection of role. No session. Why? Because here I can print it 1 minute. Here I can print it, you will get it. And what I'll do is, just 1 minute. Huh? See, this is a very, very important interview question. If you get this type of error, if you this could not initialize interview question, they might ask. Okay. So could not initialize proxy, no session. Why we are getting this? I'll tell you this. Okay, just 1 minute. Just 1 minute. Huh? Just one. This is a very important interview question. So I'll explain you this. That's the reason. See, if you get this error right, why you are getting here? Where you are getting author books, right? Go to your author. In author books, you are getting this error. If you are getting this error means, see, by default, it is a 1-to many, right? I mean, one author, many books. So one author, many books, if you see what is a lazy type, what is a fetch type for 1-to many default, fetch type is lazy. Okay. Lazy means, what is this lazy means? As I was telling you, see here, I'm just follow this carefully. I'm going bit depth here. It's a very important interview question. First, I'll solve this and then I will show you. First, I'll solve this. So what I'll do is here mapped by equal to author. Okay. First, I'll solve this 1 minute. First, I'll solve this. Then I'll explain you this. Right. First, I'll solve this. Yeah. Now you see. Now I got the program. So what is happening here is easy. Assume that you don't have this. No, not this one. I don't have this one. Now, let me take this method. This is your main method. I'll explain you. Just follow this. Okay, I'll go a bit slow here. Okay. Right. This is your main method. In main method, you are passing, this is your author ID. Right? This is your author ID. Right? Now this is calling this method. Get books from author. Now go to your get books from author. This is the method. Right. What we are doing now? Okay, this is your session factory and all that. You're creating a session. Session means session is nothing but your database connection. Session is nothing but your database connection. Fine. Then Hibernate will expect a transaction to begin. Next session dot get of author ID. What is your author ID? Author ID is 100 because you are passing this value here. Author ID is 100. Right? Now what is your author contains now? You see, your author contains all these properties. In addition to that, your author also contains this one. Your author contains this one and then this one. Right? Right. Now you see. Now, whenever you are trying to get these, okay, by passing author ID, now it will fetch these books also along with author. But one too many, what is the default fetch type? So default fetch type for one too many is fetch type lazy. Suppose if I don't specify any fetch type here, for one too many, if you see here, the default fetch type is lazy. Right? Just one minute, I'll put my chart. The default fetch type is lazy. Just here. Right? So the default fetch type is lazy. Now, that means this default fetch type is lazy. See, that means for a lazy type, for a lazy fetch type, whenever author is read, whenever the author data is read from the database, that means for this author ID 100, this is your author ID 100. In your database, this is your author ID. Okay. Now for this author ID 100, this data is loaded actually. But along with this data, books data is not loaded because it is lazy. This author data is loaded. But books data is not loaded because this is lazy. So it will not read the data from the table, from the books table. From the books table, it will not read the data. That means whenever session.get is happening, only the data is read from author table only, not from the book table, because book is one too many and the fetch type is lazy. Now what I am doing, now when I say author.get books, you will not get any record because whenever you're reading the author, books is not read from database because it's lazy. But when actually the data will be read from the database, when you call for this lazy type, when you call from the book object, the properties like book.getID, book.getTitle, at the time the data will be read from the database. Till the time, the data will not be read from the database. For fetch type lazy, that means when author is read, at the time, the book data is not read from the database. Okay? When you call book.getID, book.get the property methods on the book object, then it will read from this table, book table, and get the data. But now, where we are reading this getID, getTitle, after closing the session, after closing the connection, we are reading here. That means this we are returning the books here. That means this method is returning the books here. And after that, we are reading this data, properties. That means by the time this connection is closed, actually, DB connection is closed. So that is the reason you got an error there. By the time this DB connection is closed, after that, we are calling this getID, getTitle, where the data, no session is available. See, that's why you got no session is available. If you see here, I'll remove this. Okay, so in author table, where is your books? Yeah, this one. Now, if I run this now, you got, you see, could not initialize proxy, no session. Okay. So when you actually read the properties from the object, then only the data will be read from the database. By the time you are reading here, by the time the session is closed, after closing the session, you are returning the books. Then the books are coming here. You are creating a for loop. Then you are saying book.getID, book. At the time, it will connect to the database and read from this book table. But for connection, there is no session. Already the session is closed here. Right? Now, for that, what we have to do? We have to change this to, in order for these type of things, we need to change to eager. If I don't specify anything, by default, one to many is a lazy. By default, one to many is lazy. Now, if I specify this one eager, now if I specify eager, right? Now that means what is eager means? Now session.get of author.class author ID. Now 100 is read. Now 100 is read. Right? Now eager means along with this author table, books table also read actually at the same time. So that means author along with author, okay, along with reading from author table, reading from books table is also done at same time. Is also done at same time. Because it's eager. Lazy means not at the same time, after some time. See, the meaning of lazy means what? We'll do later, not now. Like that, the same meaning came now. Eager means very anxious, very curious. So along with author table, reading from books table is also done at the same time. Now, your author now will have both books data and this author data. When I say author.get books, it is having book data. It is returning books now. Okay, it is returning books. Now, in the eager, when you say book.getID, it will not connect to the database. It is already available in this variable, in this object. It is already available in this object. So when I say book.getID, it will read from this object. But in the lazy, when I say book.getID, it will now connect to the database and get. But in eager, here itself, author.getBooks is already having the data, because eager means along with reading from author table, books table is also done at same time. Now this books will have the data already stored in the object, in your Java object. Now you can close the DB session, and then you can get the data from the object. That is why if you run this now, let me run this now. Now we say I got it. Everyone understood? See, this is a very important interview question. They will ask, like, if no session comes, what you do? You tell that because of lazy we get it. If I put eager, it will work. Everyone understood this concept? No, for example, let us do in this way. Okay. Now, for example, now app.java. I'll put here lazy only. Okay, by default, it is lazy. If I don't specify anything, it is one to many is lazy, right? If I don't specify anything. Now it is lazy. Now what I do is, shall I print here instead of, I'll remove from this here. I'll remove this part also. And I'll put here actually. Whether this will work. Now it is lazy. It will work. I'll run the program. You see. Yeah, it is working, you see. Why? Because you see, though it is lazy, also it is working. Because for lazy, let me put here. Now, for lazy, session.get of author along with author data, your book data is not read. Okay, fine. So now this will not have book data. Okay, this will not have book data. So for lazy, only the author data is read here. Only author data is read. Book data is not read. Right. When book data will be read, when I say book.getID, when I call the getter methods of the book table, then book object, then I'll get it. Now fine. Now here you don't have book data. But now if I say book.getID, book.title, now it will connect to the database and read from the book table. How it is connecting? Now it is within the session only, right? Before the session only I'm reading. Within the session only I'm reading. So it is using the session connection, reading the book table and getting. But in earlier case, it's not like that. After closing the session, see, if you put the same code, here, you will get the same error. If you put the same code here after this commit, you will get the same error. No session. But before commit only, I'm reading this. So it is using the DB connection, getting the data from book table and printing it. Though it is lazy also. Okay, understood, right? Everyone clear with this? Whatever I told? Any doubts? Questions? Right. All right, then everyone clear, right? So yeah, fine. That's all. So right. With this, we completed all these associations. We completed all this. So tomorrow, what I'll do is, tomorrow we'll see very important interview question point of view. Hibernate caching, first level cache, second level cache. So we're going to see tomorrow. Okay. All right then. Thank you all. See you tomorrow.